All right. Today we're going to talk about how to research with Google Sites. So, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have your speaking Google Notes handy, as well as your web evaluation notes or CRAAP notes handy. Because when we research with Google sources, no one has evaluated those to make sure they're credible. So, it's our job to do that. So, you need to make sure that that's part of being a responsible researcher is that you're evaluating your sources before you start taking notes. As you can see from my notebook, I do not have a lot of notes. And so if I were at this point in the project, I would have a lot of work to do. By the time you're all done with research, you should have enough notes in each section to write 2 full paragraphs for each complex question. Obviously, I do not, so hopefully you are getting close to that. So let's take a look at what we need to do. So I'm going to focus on my third question here. What is the culture of England like? Because I don't have any notes for it. So I'm going to take my first 2, culture and England, my first 2 keywords, and that's what I'm going to search with. So I have a Google window open right here. So I am going to type in culture and England and hit enter. And you can see, I'll zoom in here, that I have 885 million results. That is way too much. Remember, part of speaking Google is being able to get that down to about 300,000 for a great list of results and under a million for a good list of results. So I have a ways to go. So I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to type in the word food. And it went down to 369 million. So that's good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of look at my results and see if there's any other keywords that I'm noticing pop up that I can put in. So I see here it says British food has traditionally. So there's the word traditional. There's the word traditional. There's the word traditional right here. Here's the word traditional. So I am going to add that to my keywords in my search. Okay, so now I have 132 million. So let's do some quotation marks. Okay, so I have quotation marks there. Let's see what I got it down to. 33,700, way too low. So I need to do some adjustments. So one thing that I saw, I'm actually going to go back to my last search. One thing that I saw is British. So I am going to change this to British culture. And I'm going to put quotes around it. I know that British and English means the same thing. If I wasn't comfortable using British, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's change it to English. I'm going to change it to English and let's see what I get. All right. So here I have 193,000. Now, that's a little bit further away from 300,000 that I'd like, but I'm going to go with it for now. I can always go back and edit my keywords, add minuses, quotes, all those things to get it closer to where I need it, if I need to. So, I'm going to start at the top of my results and I'm going to read the little snippet and see if it helps, if it'll help answer my question. So remember, I'm asking about the culture of England. And I know the culture is the food, the drink, the religion, the dance, the music, all that. So it says English cuisine has traditionally been based on, and I'm going to highlight this for you, has been based on beef, lamb, pork, chicken, and fish, all cooked with a minimum of embellishment and generally served with potatoes and one other vegetable. Okay, it's talking about the food. So I think that's going to help. So I'm going to click there. Okay, and now I'm going to kind of skim and scan, and I'm just kind of generally looking. I'm not reading, I'm just kind of skimming, I'm half reading. Oh, okay, even as England has become ever more diverse culturally, it continues to exert a strong cultural influence on the rest of the world. English music, film, and literature enjoy wide audiences overseas, and the English language has gained ever-increasing currency as the preferred international medium of cultural and economic exchange. So that is information that I can use, okay? Right there, when I think of my 5 pieces of CRAAP, current, relevant, accurate, authority, and purpose, I know that that's relevant. It's relevant to what I'm talking about. So I have one piece of crap there. Okay. So I need 4 out of 5. And again, all this should be in your CRAAP notes. So, or your web evaluation notes. So if it's relevant, now I'm going to look if it's current. Remember, currency is when it was published, is it close to the time that we're in now? That information can usually be found at the top. I do not see a date here. So the other place it could usually be found is the bottom. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the article, and I do not see a date that it was published here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and I am going to look for a copyright date. And all the way at the very bottom is the C with a circle around it. That's a copyright symbol. And then 2019. I know that this is current because it's 2019. We also talked about make sure when you're looking at currency, you're thinking about your topic. England, since it's a country, its culture and its government changes often. Its geography may change occasionally. So I need something that's pretty current. If you have an older topic like ancient Egypt or ancient China, that information doesn't change very often. So that date of currency could be a little bit older. You usually don't want to get anything older than about 5 to 7 years though. So I know this is current. So I have 2 pieces of crap, current and relevant. Now I'm going to look at authority. This is the one that out of all of them is the hardest to kind of talk about because there's so many factors. The first factor is who wrote it. Well, if there's no name listed, and again, the name is going to be usually at the top or the bottom, just like the date, and I didn't see a name of a person, then I'm going to look at the company. And this company is Encyclopedia Britannica. I know a little bit about Encyclopedia Britannica, but if you don't, then you would have to check to see if it's an authority. So to check to see if it's an authority, again, we look for a name, look to see if anybody wrote it. I don't see a name. So then we want to learn about the company. And a lot of times at the top or the bottom, there is an about us. And the about us is, I'm going to zoom in, is in the bottom. Okay. So when I click on that in a new tab, it opens up, a little about us blurb. And it says, we are the Britannica Group, Inc., the worldwide leader at the forefront of the information revolution for 250 years. We have empowered the way the world teaches and learns, and we continue to pave the way in reimagining discovery and inquiry. Inspiring curiosity and instilling the joy of learning is how Britannica builds the world's future leaders. And then as I continue to learn more about the company, it says they serve 140 million plus students, trusted in over 80 countries, and have over 1,000 categories of information. And it says we are built from the rich knowledge of renowned experts and forward thinkers from around the globe. It sounds like it's pretty authoritative. They seem like they know what they're talking about. If it doesn't have an about us and you want to learn more about the company, don't be afraid to open a new tab and search for the name of the company and then read the results. So like over here, it talks about it's a general knowledge English language encyclopedia. It's formally published by Encyclopedia Britannica Inc. and other publishers. It was written by about 100 full-time editors and more than 4,000 contributors. And yes, I know it's from Wikipedia, but we're not like citing this information. Okay, it says it was published in 1768. It seems to be pretty on the money as far as authority. So it's current. It's relevant. It's an authority. I need one more piece of crap. So let's see if it's accurate. Okay. Remember, when something is accurate for this project, that means some of the information in the article matches information that you have already found in credible sources. So when I go to my notebook, I don't have any notes for information about culture. So I have nothing to compare it to. In order for me to say that this was accurate, I would have to go back into my credible sources like World Book or Gale or a Destiny website, find information about the culture and make sure it matches what's on this website. So I can't put accurate unless I do that. So I'm going to go for purpose. And when I read through this, I'm thinking, what is the purpose? Remember, the 3 main purposes are to persuade, to inform, or to entertain. So when I read, I'm going to read a couple sentences here. Historically, English daily life and customs were markedly different in urban and rural areas. Indeed, much of English literature and popular culture has explored the tension between town and country and between farm and factory. Today, even though the English are among the world's most cosmopolitan and well-traveled people, ties to the rural past remain strong. So it's telling me that there's always been a difference between people who live in the city and people who live in rural or country areas, but that they still have this strong tie to rural or country living. It's not trying to make me think a certain way or buy something. It's not persuading, and it's not flashy or entertaining. So it is to inform or educate. So now I have, it's current, it's relevant, it's an authority, and the purpose is to inform. So I have my 4 pieces of CRAAP. So I'm ready to cite my source. And after I cite my source, then I can start taking notes. So I come up here to the address bar at the very top where my mouse is dancing around, and I click right in the middle of the address bar. I Control-C to copy it. I go back to my notebook. I go to my sources and credibility chart. Your top chart should be for databases. Your second chart should be for Destiny URLs. And your third chart is for Google URLs. So you click in the Google URL box, you paste that link. And then next to that, in the second column, you need to tell which 4 out of 5 pieces of CRAAP you found. Notice that it says whole words. That's because you need to write the whole words. Do not just put the letters. So it is current. It is relevant. It is an authority. And the purpose is to educate or inform. Then I can come back to my questions and notes, and I can start taking notes using ABC Lou. So we talked about still a difference between the country and the city. So again, I read that chunk of text. I'm going to put in a bullet point. I'm going to say strong influence by rural areas, even though many are living in cities. Okay, so I can continue to use this Encyclopedia Britannica source as much as I want since I've already cited it. All right, hopefully you're confident knowing what to do. Remember, you are going to have to write 2 paragraphs for each complex question when you create your sway. So you want to make sure that you have enough bullet points in each section to show that, to be able to write those paragraphs. If you don't feel you have enough information to write 2 paragraphs, you need more bullet points for that complex question. If you need help, remember to come in and see me before or after school. Otherwise, happy researching.